A first map dominated by the AUG, Valda and Gade. And so it seemed that Space Soldiers have taken a hit early on. We're moving on to Inferno, which scares the living daylights out of me, Launders. If I'm on the side of the Turkish team, take into consideration they have less than a 20% win percentage on this map, and all the while, it is North's most played.
That's a 1 in 5 chance. I mean, on their win percentage alone.
Right.
For North, I don't know what side they're going to start on. Well, I actually do because it's in front of me, but I'm not going to spoil it.
Okay.
So I don't know what side they're going to start on, but I'd like it to be CT side, and I'd like to see AUGs. Inferno can get out of hand really quickly, and at this point, I'm cheering for insane AUG frags because that was exciting.
Right, it was.
I had a lot of fun watching that.
As kind of, discouraging as it was for the terrorist side, I mean, Gaden, Valde just went off with it. And they were both on that A side as well. I feel like that's where the vast majority of the action all unfolded. You know what the crazy part to me is the most impressive round we saw out of Space Soldiers T side was the time they did that running smoke execute onto the B bomb site.
That was actually really cool execute.
And we only saw it once.
That's true.
It was this consistent A pressure that they really seemed to want to apply, and, I mean, the Danes were having none of it.
Yeah, I mean, they were getting destroyed mid, getting destroyed A, and then just going back to A. And then I think they were like, all right, it's going to be so obvious if you run B, but that was definitely probably their best bet. They kept it as a pocket strat. It worked once. That was cool, but it's kind of all they had to show for that map. So now we take it to Inferno, and it's actually North on the T side, which means we might see Creeks. And we might see some stolen AUGs. We might still see AUGs. Space Soldiers were pulling out the AUGs last map as well. So there is hope for it. Cadian setting up for a Moto smoke. Unclear if they'll take this to wrap for Arch or if they'll just run lane. It looks like there's one Arch player here. They want to put pressure on him. They spotted him. They want to chase him down. They're actually going all the way into CT spawn to get this kill. Yam cannot do anything with it. Engine, next man up, and next man down.
Yeah, just too much of a flood from North forward. Major, even at a greater distance, all because Gade swaps over to that USP, mitigates the disadvantage of a Glock, and rocks Major's world.
Oh, beautiful. They even have an extra smoke here. Don't know if they picked that up.
Just the old Arch side wraparound is how this pistol unfolds. North looking to kick off a T side explosively.
That was actually a dirty shot from Calix.
Yeah, almost as he began to fall. Paz now clears tree. Nice, sick one tap, but it's Gade to snap it back into reality. Paz alone, no kit currently on him, pushes forward, misses the initial bullets, and that now really puts the pressure on. They're just dancing around his shots, and he is done for. North securing another pistol.
Super nice strat, really simple. Just hunt down that Arch player, deny anybody from helping him. And the one problem could be if there is an Arch and lane player holding down a crossfire that they could get destroyed at top mid. But you take a small risk like that on the pistol round, that's totally normal. And because they group up and explode, they still have the advantage 5v2. So I like that, and it worked better than probably anticipated. They even get into B and have another smoke for the B rotators. And they save it because they have AZ there to spot to make sure they don't throw it too early. Everything's accounted for. All their ducks were in a row, and the round was theirs. Space Soldiers. 4 players at B, 1 over at A. Major snuck into a creepy position here. Doesn't have... Oh, I think his USP actually stuck out when he turned. But could have been a Q position for a Zeus.
Hazy with eyes on the flank. 1, 2, nearly 3. Yam's going to pop him with that USP, and Engine is still yet to strike, but he lurks from library through the Moto smoke. Takes a bit of a pause to catch his breath and just reflect on life.
It's a good setting to do it. You got the birds chirping in the background.
You know,
the crickets.
The rhythm of a beeping bomb. You know, what's more calm than that? What scares me is like, oh no, sir, I didn't see the pit player. I take back everything. Nothing scares me.
Yeah, he's close enough to do something crazy, huh? But
just pull players back in, blow them up with the bomb. You know, if he just sits on the back of the site, someone's gonna have to go in there.
Yeah. Never a fun position to be in, but North seal up that second one pretty cleanly as well. It's going to be a buy up from Space Soldiers. They've got a lot of nades. Let's see what they favor, considering they have to make some compromises. And it looks like as Major and Engine buy down to 0, they've decided to spend a lot of money on having incendiaries, which is a super valuable piece of utility on the CT side. It can do damage. It can stop people from coming through. It's more threatening than the smoke at times. Yam, however, goes down right away. Wide swing with the op. Immediately taken out, and Paz wants to trade, but the Molotov threatens his positioning as well. 2 players now left on A, and they have to fall back early on into the site. 5v4, and there's not even an opportunity for these CTs to get information. But a really interesting way to retake banana control. And Engine capitalizes with the frag on the bomb carrier.
Yeah, those Molotovs just landed on their heads. It's a firestorm at the top of banana. Good for 1 kill at least, equalizing things 4v4.
That was cool.
I like that. One of the Molotovs didn't actually burst, though.
Yeah. The angle was a bit off, and it spent too much time in the air, so it popped early. But maybe they didn't even need that. Like, if for the next time, they could hang on to that Molotov, because it does segregate the players from top banana from their teammates at lower banana from trading. And if they want to clear top banana, that could be a cool way to do it. And now that it's 4v4, it's much more even. North have to figure out a way back into this round, as Space Soldiers have. X-Space Soldiers have found a way to ease up on the rotates. In return, Gade has taken Hall's control, and his teammates seem to want to follow. Nobody's here at top mid apart from Paz, who's spotting from the archway. But it seems like he's unsure exactly where he's going to be the most useful. He's now made his way over to the library, but it looks like it's going to be a full-on lane split. And Paz has made a way to the site.
Oh, Calyx goes charging forward, drops the bomb carrier of all the players to push. Gade survives, nails the head of Calyx against the wall. 5 seconds means there's just no time, so well done on the apartments push. That's how this round unfolds.
Nice.
North seemed like they were going to charge straight in it, but one crucial duel goes the wrong way, and we've got the CTs on the board.
And it definitely could be looked at as a mistake to have the bomb by itself, just straight up. It is a 4v4, so they didn't have as many people as they would normally have, and maybe the people who were going to be throwing utility were the ones that need to be at lane. So, you know, it's reasonable to have to make compromises in that way. And Calyx just made a good play by trying to reclaim Hall's control. So good on him for doing that. Excellent frag, and that's where the round began and ended. The opening kill was important, it seemed. But Space Soldiers, X-Space Soldiers fall on their feet. And we move on to round 4. North have a buy-up. Cadian has tons of money. He can op if he'd like to. And Yam has also gotten an op. I think we had attack pause called into this round.
Yep.
It's to mentally reset. It definitely helps for North that they were able to recycle the 2 guns they had. Completely different round if not for that. So saving can be directly beneficial. And it's a very passive setup from the CTs on B. They've gotten a Molotov in hand, crack spotting to see if anybody comes to top banana. But apart from that, are dry on information. Pretty much blind on most choke points. And here have actually gone for the reclaim of banana. And with that information, have been able to now rotate 4 towards A.
Yeah, they know there's an opper near or around the pit. Smokes come over the walls, and Yam's going to hold that high ground with 2 players inside of the bomb site. XSS have a decent hold, but there is something tricky afoot. Gade has actually wrapped around Arch, finding Major's head, pushing Calyx into his dead teammate's position, all the while allowing North to move that bomb back towards B. If they hit this site, it is Engine and Engine alone. No utility for this hold. And a lot of Danes on the cusp of the bomb site.
At times, it can be really tough to tell your teammates to hightail it back to the other site after setting up off of a kill.
So Calyx does get here just at the side of the smoke. The Engine's good for 1, there's 2. So at least a decent enough start. Puts it into the even ground, but Cadian and Valda get aggressive. They charge out through those smokes. They force the gun duels while the bomb goes down. And now they have themselves an after plant secured. However, Yam and Engine knocking on their door. If only they had a Molotov to flush Kierby out of the bomb site, because I highly doubt he moves here. He is that anchor, just like Cadian over towards Banana, waiting and expecting Space Soldiers to make their first move. But that move may be backwards. They're going to go ahead and retreat. Even though Kierby's dropped at the end here, confirming Yam's op is still around. It's a costly round as North will put a third to the board.
Yeah, Valda looking to just not die in this situation. Should be okay in this spot, and yeah, grabs the AK as well. So 2v2 to end it. Space Soldiers will take these two guns into the next round. Try once again. North fought hard for that. Execute into B, and the entries were solid. And Space Soldiers did a pretty good job of holding, it seemed. But ultimately, the man advantage was on North's side. So Space Soldiers will call for attack timeout. And think about what they're going to do. Yam still has his op, and what's his spawn looking like? It's kind of an awkward spawn. It's a hall spawn, technically. It's towards A, but it's not the best place that it could be in. I mean, this is a situation where sometimes, you know, you throw it to Paz or something to go for a pick and then throw it back, or you could take it if you're not going to do anything too aggressive, but I personally would always favor doing something aggressive to try to start the round off on the right foot. Give a team with too much utility and too much time the ability to clear stuff out meticulously. You're going to have such a laundry list of disadvantages by the end of the round that it'll be hard to come back into, but who knows? They might have another plan. It's not an early stack or anything like that. Yam's going to make his way over to B. Got a tiny bit of utility as well. Boost over the half wall. Can see on top of the smoke. But there's not a player from North that's overextended.
So let's go ahead and retreat as North's feet move closer towards the apps. Molotov's deep Banana. And again, a head stack, this time to place Engine on the half wall. Looks like North are going to give up that Banana presence, though. Looking to join their teammates on the other side of the map. Apps has been cleared for the most part. They're not going to find Yam positioned on balcony, just like he was in the previous round. Remember, he was inside of the apartments trying to hold these T's back. Now, it's this more forward truck side setup with Paz behind the column, Major over on Arch, but it's actually Gade to burst out from the apartments. They didn't expect so many bodies to come flying into the A site, and because of it, North take it with ease.
Yeah, easy with the masterful job at mid, and the two B players will save immediately. Round locked in for North. Pretty easy stuff. It was a nice couple of entries from AZ. It's interesting how much Halls control they're seeing from North. It's working well for them. And taking pit can be the most difficult part. So if they've ironed out those responsibilities, then the round at A can be so much easier.
Speaking of A, on our primary stream, Mouse Sports 16-14 in the first map.
Wow, they've had to sweat all minor.
That's Optic now on the back foot facing elimination. Just like North is here in this best of three, but this group of Great Danes has a bit more wiggle room to work with. Not only that first map in the back pocket, but now a 4-1 lead. 2 survivors for the CTs, and once again that op grandfathered forward.
Damn, 16-14. That's a tough loss for Optic, obviously.
Right.
Now, either of these teams leaving the minors, just terrible.
Imagine Mouse Sports, they've played 2 maps and both go 30 rounds.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd like to see the score lines. It was Chris J who's pushed to the absolute limit in the first round. Yeah. And, you know, he's capable of doing it. But there's other players on the team that should be as well.
Nothing additional purchased around Yam and Engine, who did survive the previous round, but early op damage denied by the pummeling push of North. They just go straight up Banana, peeling off the opper, forcing Major into the back of the bomb site, and this has actually gone unchecked. Kierby could be easily taken down, and that denies the bomb plant. Major comes out from the corner, surprising Cadian too. Paz beneath him, look up! Look up and drop bodies! They've won the round out of nowhere!
What? I don't even know where the other kills came from. Wow, they just...
I was so distracted by Paz.
Look up! You just want to yell to him.
I was trying to. Oh, that's funny. If it was Yam, I'd think like, oh, maybe it's him switching back to Turkish that creates like a communication issue.
Yeah.
But it's Major and Paz. Like, that should be pretty easy.
Yeah, yeah. Major's calling in French.
Yeah. Oh, it's too funny. Settle down. Settle down, because we're back into the gun rounds. Lots of utility here as well. This one's as even as it gets.
This round, it's X-Base soldiers to go for an early banana control as opposed to reclaiming it like they have been doing so consistently. They use their Molotovs as well. So both players here only have a smoke and a flash left over. Late flash for North to go and push up, and Hall's control. Once again, Gades has been so good up here. Calyx gets blasted through the wall. And I think we have a boost at quad. Engine up in the corner. Common spot to be in. It seems so exposed, but it's something that's less pre-aimed. So usually you'll have like maybe a 60-40 on your first engagement, and then you can obviously fall to quad, which from there you can peek the left or right side and take very little spam damage. So a lot of versatility in a setup like this, and they've got the rotates as well to support them.
Lots of utility on the entry, but good thing for the CTs is Yam finds that first op shot, and Engine's position's not countered by the volley of Molotovs. So 4 versus 2, they get stopped at the gate. Tuck tail and turn the other way. They're going to try to isolate at A, and there's so little time that they're not going to fancy their chances. This is a third one for the CTs now, and with 4 players up, it's time to start cultivating the cash and get this defensive side rolling.
Not bad. I feel like that might have been a gamble rotate from X-Base soldiers because they had so many people over at B. I don't know what kind of mid information they had at that moment, but Gade got his kill, and then North went into a full execute. They didn't seem very easily telegraphable, and because there was definitely no info top banana, and what seemed like very little info at A, really felt like X-Base soldiers were going off of a hunch, but a good one at that. And it easily closed out. Can be so difficult. It's so much easier when you're spectating to look at an array of flashes and smokes and think, all right, this is manageable. All you have to do is stand here, and you'll be fine. You won't get flashed. You'll take this first shot. But when you're in the server, dude, it is a whole different thing. It's like standing in a goddamn tornado.
It doesn't sound pleasant at all.
It's very confusing.
Yeah, North shoulder to shoulder here on T-Ramp. Those 2 AKs amidst the pistol players.
Late flash comes out. They're going to go head first into B, I think, again. I don't know if they're maybe hoping to see or trade out an op if it comes, but what they have done is lure to rotate over.
Oi.
Wow, that's almost as good as it gets.
Major, just don't get caught with anything other than your AK in hand. He's flashed. Still, they get past. An Engine retreats from the coffins just in order to cull the numbers slightly. Calls for that rotate over. Now, they lost one of their AK players in Gate. It's yet to be retrieved by the other 3 Ts, and now finally Kierby will find it. Through the smoke spam, followed by the deep frag. Yam give the guy a chance. 4 versus 3 as they get this one rolling. And remember, that's still one of the AKs. Kierby even burned into the open. So these pistol players who've just been waiting for a target, waiting for anything at all, have lost all the support they had from the cavalry. P250 cleared out, and AZ's Glock versus 4 would never be enough.
Damn. So even though the time ticks down, it's all calculated. They had every piece of utility accounted for. The HE grenades were well placed, the Molotovs to push Kierby out of position, and eliminating the best guns and the most important spots in the after plant were X-Base soldiers. So great retake there. Lots of good information to look for in a demo. And we've seen a lot of nice set pieces from North. Great flashes, like Major just got flashed from an angle that he was planning to hold and fall back from after probably trying to take just a few innocuous shots if he could find them, but definitely try to stay alive, and they didn't even let him do that with the good spacing and the pop flash, and so that's cool. It's kind of been a lost art, the art of the full execute. North have just got plenty of them, as we know they're good for. But X-Space Soldiers, no slouches, and have clawed their way back to a 4-4 scoreline. Full buy on both sides. And a lot of this has been very interesting banana play, whether it's X-Space Soldiers playing passive on banana and then reclaiming it, or playing aggressively and then feigning it and falling back, or North running head first into banana despite the nades being thrown. All picking interesting and good rounds to do it. Here it is. 2 late mollies to come down, and the nade's not actually going to target a Logs player, but it does catch AZ on the fallback.
Seems lucky to be alive. 17 health the difference. Calyx not wanting to linger inside of the apartments, but Yam, ooh. Very tight angle there with the op. Falls off immediately.
Just below the berries.
Look to make wine out of him. Oh wait, that's grapes. Lots of noise being made by North. Firing shots. Running around inside of the apartments like chickens in smoke. They'll wait though. You can see Yam floating that op inside of the library, waiting for someone to wrap around on Arch and not wanting to throw himself on the more forward angle, which is where he started this round with. You know, he went from boiler to Arch side to library and now over towards spawn. Something eliciting that rotation. Looks like it's going to be the CT pinch. Yam, I mean, he could collateral bodies if they line up properly, and only one player pushes him from this side, so he's going to get a chance at a second life. But Valda takes away everyone's life. So Major has to come up huge. 10 seconds left. AZ low. Kierby first around the corner. The continuous spray down is good for 2. Major can't get the reload in, but who's going to grab the bomb? It's AZ. Oh. Is there time?
Oh, no.
Nope. He's missed the mark, and Paz hits it on the head. That is a lead established by the CTs.
Nasty. That play from Major was beautiful. Like the continued spray, knowing that he's just got to hit these last few bullets. Someone's going to try to trade him immediately. They don't have time to play around, make a big rotate, whatever. So he locks it down just on the thought. Maybe he didn't hear that second pair of footsteps, but he realized if there's going to be someone to kill him, it's going to be from this angle. Let's keep the spray going, and he makes it a 2-piece. Excellent stuff. Clock ticking down definitely counted against North in that situation. It's a long way from Arch to be. They made it as clean as possible. Valda picked up those 2 entries so swiftly. And now it's more of a busted buy here. And X-Space Soldiers have been adamant about reclaiming banana control, which I'm loving. It's looking really consistent with them, and it's definitely granted them a ton of information at marks where at points where they needed it. Halls has been a pain point, however. Every player that's been here has pretty much died once. And will recede with his life into the pit. And North look to potentially execute again. Full A. It's a 2-3, but there's 3 players that are all ready to get inside of the moto smoke. That means they'll all be useful.
North has been really execute heavy so far this T side.
Definitely.
Burning down the clock yet once again. Unfortunately for them, the body's starting to stack up for the CTs here. 5 rounds for them, 4 players in the bomb site. And the number 5-man engine starts to flank mid. I mean, they're just standing here like corpses. They finally decide to make their move at the 20-second mark, and now the CT's so prepared for what's coming their way. And yet hesitations continue. Reservations here from North. 10 seconds left over. It's not going to get any easier, and yet they still want to try and make this happen. The pinch comes in from AZ and Valda, but there's no time for the plan. Kierby dies before time expires, and 3 CTs survive.
It's hard to see what the value is of waiting that long, as you're saying. Like that all they did was open themselves up to get flanked, but they know that X-Space Soldiers have been reclaiming banana control over every single round. Either delayed executes, re-executes, whatever. And if they haven't seen anybody, then they're going to go ahead and peek. And so the big flank came out at like 25 seconds. So there was like tons of time before that they could have thrown their smokes and gone into the site I'm unclear what exactly North were waiting for to throw the smokes originally, but we see teams do that a lot where they'll just like kind of hold it down, maybe wait for a push, but then they put themselves in a position that even if they get in the site, they've got to kill everybody, which is a variable that you can't account for sometimes. And then you have to worry about a big flank, as we just saw, and you also have to worry about potentially teams rotating towards you. When you don't have banana control, you can't guarantee that, you know, they're going to simply overstack B for no reason.
All in all, just to say, dire straits in a situation like that, but we'll see if they can just push past. There's a lot of Molotovs and even as many smokes to extinguish said flames, but they can't extinguish the threat of the CTs standing strong. IEM and Calyx all over again. They need Paz to bail them out as the bodies stacked and the reloads needed. But that was near costless for Space Soldiers.
Yeah.
They move forward fine enough.
A pretty nice hold. The full buy will come in once again. And what'll be their ticket to success? I think the more that they try lane, the more that Space Soldiers will get better at holding it. But I definitely would like to see them try to work a default into maybe a 4v4 or a 5v4 before they attempt any of those full executes again. But it definitely appears to be their general style to just kind of set up and execute as soon as possible, with the caveat of sometimes trying to earn banana control or get kills there first.
Again, that volley of mollies. AZ this time runs straight forward, gets the first kill, and is traded out effectively by Major.
That's great. There was no way that anybody could come and trade. So even though AZ seemed to be lucky to get that kill because he was blind, he was still stuck and had to fight, which is an awkward spot to be in.
More utility down from the CTs, who seem pretty continuous in this grenade usage over and over and over again. IEM, patient though, with a slight gap to play with, nails the double kill. Gade and Kierby never know what hit them. Jump up from Paz will cost him his head, so the lane split still good enough. I mean, IEM did a great job on one side of A, but there's still an avenue for North to hit. Run boost pass for the plant. Valda through the barrel. Beautiful work here from IEM on the A site. Can he do one better? Cadian's up, dinked, damaged. Major peaks yet once more, and he's waiting for Calyx to come in from middle. So Cadian has an isolated fight at this moment, but for how much longer? Not long. Cadian, he's gonna go for the push. He knows what's up, but Major ready for the peak. Anticipation, the name of the game, 8-4 the score.
Pretty fantastic round from IEM up in there. I mean, they made it easy for him on the second shot at Arch. I think they were kind of unsure as to how he got the first kill. Maybe the smoke looked a little bit better from their perspective than it did for him, but he totally abused that, and he refreshed his utility masterfully as well. I mean, the Molotov going down just as the smoke was dissipating, you know they wanted to push through, and then the smoke to refresh that, and then making them make a bad decision so he could hit an easy off shot. Yeah, all in a day's work for IEM. Looks like we might have a Halls pick. Oh no! Forgets to actually click the mouse, but comes back in for more and makes it a flick instead.
Really happy to see IEM succeeding again. I mean, he had a quiet game on Mirage, but understandably seeing the way North just dismantled the Turks. Going off of his first showing with this lineup on Train, you'd think he was going to give it to them this week. And, well, he's back in action. Let's transition North to the B strike yet again. The numbers are here to hold. Calyx holds off, blind after blind. He will finally find some kind of impact. Valda baits the push out from Major, and now it is just IEM left over. I'm sorry I talked about him. The pressure is now really on. Not only having to grab picks, but also clutches on top of it. Ooh. That could be all it takes for at least... Oh, no. Valda, he runs through the fires. Not what IEM expected.
Yeah, he had a great read there, too. You know, not for him to peek out the left side, even though he mollied the right.
Time continues to tick. Flashbang banked, but Valda, great positioning. Halfway up the barrels, just over the top of smoke. That's a 5th one for North.
Might have been a situation where they rushed the retake a little bit. They had, I think, 2 players die as the bomb was getting planted. It kind of looked like a Hail Mary a little bit. Obviously a play that could work for sure. You know, they get through, they get one guy who's got his hands busy, one guy with his back turned. Maybe the round just ends, but they had such a good retake in the past, and there Yam even got so close by himself. Maybe if they just played it a little bit more safely, they could have guaranteed it. But either way, North did a good job staying aware in the midst of the chaos and keeping focused on their crosshairs. Valda doing a majority of the work, I want to say, the important kills. Now we move into the last 2 rounds of the first half. X-Base Soldiers with a substantial amount of rounds, surprising amount of rounds. After watching Mirage, after thinking about their Inferno stats and North's Inferno stats, you'd think, okay, this should be a pretty easy map for North, but X-Base Soldiers look awesome.
Before they switch sides, though, I'm really curious to see how long Yam can keep this up. It's no secret that opping on the T side of Inferno is a whole other beast. And he's been a key factor to the success here for the CTs. Flash goes high. Engine almost caught off by the player hiding behind box. It's going to be Yam to take the front line now, looking for the pick. He hears the grenades going over, and sure enough, Cadian with a Molotov in hand is struck down. Calyx is going to hear the push-up lane. There you have it, caught off guard, but he's exposed. That's the thing, not in a position to just get 1 kill and hide. He was out there, committed to the cause. And Paz now within this bomb site's looking for an angle, but Kierby sniffs him out. 3v3 smoke down. Utility for the retake with Yam. And the terrorists just have to wait for this to come. Can't divert it with any flashbangs, can't redirect it with smoke, nor slow it down on a Molotov. So it's just the pit which is countered here. Yam's gonna flash the bomb site as Engine tries to push up from lane. Timing could be here, but nope, his back's exposed. Major's the only CT to get anything done, but now he's gotta finish the clutch, and he knows where they're at, but what's he gonna do? Perfect crossfire, and a perfect round for North in the end, considering how it started.
Yeah, I think that's actually a round where maybe they should have saved, considering the afterplant spots. It looked like North, there was a chance where before the bomb went down, maybe they get the kills, and then it's like a 2v2, and that's a much more doable retake. But North had some pretty sick teamwork, getting the bomb down on the site, smoking for the cross, finding their way into pit, and then finding their afterplant spots. It all looked very seamless. And now this game is finally a lot more competitive. A buy-up from Space Soldiers, but the worst one yet. Paz jump spotting a moment too late, it seems. They've still got Hall's control.
Yeah, big push out from mid. Paz's ump can't get much done close. Major, gonna be predicted. Think of the way Calyx had impact from that position the round before. I feel like Major being there kind of gets screwed over in that regards. They're ready for it. And Cadian's ready for the mid lurk. So it is just Yam. Great showing in the first half, 15-8 currently. But in this, what seems like insurmountable clutch, it should be enough for North to secure that 7th round. A close half, one as close as can be. But it's very crucial that these Ts nab the last 3 rounds of the half. You know, they really kind of cemented themselves, almost near doubling their score at the end of things. Yam's gonna have to make a desperate sprint, but they knew exactly where he was at. So, folks, the Danes have done enough to keep this game competitive. They have that map's edge as well. Whether they kick it off with another pistol round, only time will tell. So we will see you soon.
Intel Extreme Masters is brought to you in part by Intel, Vodafone, Acer Predator, Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel, HyperX, Bedway, and Pay Safeguard.
North swapping over to the CT side of their very own map choice. Scrawny and Launders to take you through what could be the second and final map of this series. Someone's going home, Launders, and that's never a comfortable reality.
Yeah, that is tough. And ex-base holders are showing us why they got here in the first place, looking pretty good in spots. But they've got another beast here in the T side, and they are getting shut down. This is exactly the same pistol that North did to them, and they had only one person spotting an arch, and now we see what it looks like when you run into that setup with a crossfire.
Yeah, just completely plucked apart. Calyx, sure, he gets that B anchor, but North are sitting pretty on top of Bomb.
You know, even though there's a crossfire, it can get out of hand, but North, they're just so nice in the pistols. They hit those shots instantly.
And it's Gade, of course, most notably. I think it's crazy to see not only that first performance with him and Valda on Mirage, but Gade's transitioned it over here into the second map, too.
Yeah, Gade's the EU Shroud, man. He's got the crazy mechanical ability.
Man's on point. It's not him that finishes it off. It's Kierby, in fact. Is Kierby really 3 and 12?
Huh.
Well, when your team's good enough, took us 16 rounds to notice. He was able to fly under the radar.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I don't even remember what spot he was playing.
No.
To be honest.
Did he play the first 15 rounds?
Or I guess they just started CT side, so he was doing different roles. But yeah, maybe they would have got a few more rounds if he had more kills. That's a potential. But the only time it's really going to matter is if they actually lose this whole map.
Correct. So we'll just have to keep our eyes on it.
Yeah.
Now that we've noticed.
Thank you for pointing him out.
I didn't, you know, that was genuine shock. I actually hadn't realized before the moment I said it out loud. But that's okay. He's got time to make up for it. Or Space Soldiers just blast back through North, destroy them, and keep him down there at the bottom of the scoreboard.
And then we have to bring him up again.
We will, if that thing does occur. But now we're having another, you know, powwow round where everybody sits back, we talk it all over, discuss our feelings and strategy going into the next round.
Yeah, this is a pseudo pause, it looks like. Space Soldiers now making their way up Banana. Valda. Can he get some eco ADR here?
He's trying to welcome them in, you know, spam a few shots, get that reload. Maybe they go for the push off of it. But no, they've decided to redirect themselves straight into the meat grinder. That will be Cadian. 3, 4 frags for him. Gade, the final kill. And a lead for North straight away in the second half.
That was some pretty good ammo management there.
Right.
Didn't waste a bullet.
Yeah, garden hose for a gun.
Yep. Racked up the dollars for that spray down. So a pretty solid eco, and that counts for something, man. It's just the beginning of the half right now, so every dollar can matter depending on what goes on from here on out. If Space Soldiers clean this round up, well, they've still got a bit more in the bank. And down the line, if Cadian doesn't die a lot, that might be an op on an eco round. We'll see. But here's a bonus. North going to put these SMGs to good use, hopefully. It looks like they're actually just playing. I mean, they're playing so passively right now. Cadian's probably in a good spot where here, if they do just try to split through halls, maybe he can fortunately drop a bomb or something like that, or get control versus one player and upgrade his weapon. Upgrade that gun.
Nobody's trying to obscure this attempt, you know, no one's throwing a wrench in the works of Space Soldiers. They're just letting them do their thing towards mid. It's culminated in what looks to be the arch wraparound. They're going to go right into Valde. I mean, he's in a killer spot. If they charge through this smoke, they are done for. But AZ's rotate, well, that's been found out first. Oh. man, here goes Valda, charges in, catches Paz with his head turn.
That's enormous.
There's still a defender within the bomb site, and even Cadian on pit. Space Soldiers having to double back now. 3 men up lane. Major and Calyx will get a couple of kills. Gade, the pain inside the site, nearly taking 3. Keeping himself on a swivel. Kierby skewers the bomb carrier as he tries to charge into the back of the site. Calyx gonna damage him back and take his head too. 9 rounds apiece. What a back and forth affair on the A site.
It really was. Valda made the huge play. I thought that once they had killed the library player, they were definitely going to hightail it to B through CG spawn.
Yeah.
Cause a huge problem where Valda is locked in the site. But Valda took his time with it, made sure not to overextend too quickly. And then when he caught the whiff of somebody going into library, got that kill, immediately went in CG spawn to make sure that everything was still clear on the rotates. And once they hit A, it's like, all right, well, North has like a pretty decent advantage informationally, and they'll probably have this. But X-Base Soldiers had good guns, and I guess sticking to the game plan worked well for them. So now North, off of the back of that bonus, can go into a much better buy and have to dig deeper into their pockets, but pull out some better weapons. And well, actually, I mean, Valda's favored utility could have maybe got a better gun, but it's actually quite low. It's actually quite low. Cadian's got enough for himself to have an op and a full kit, but we've got 2 UMPs to support. Cadian. Early opening op duel. The flash lands right in his face. Looks like he wants to go back for more, but is now concerned about an alt player that could wrap.
Yeah, on that repeat, he almost ate a second flashbang, in fact. Now, based on the timing, decides to put down the smoke. Doesn't want to fancy his chances on the duel. There is no Opera on the other side, of course. X-Space Soldiers just playing with these AKs, Galil and MAC-10. But there were so many guns trained towards mid that even if Cadian did find 1 kill, I feel like it would have been a tough job getting out of there safely. He has decided to get out of there, falls off of Arch to a more passive angle, and his teammate Gade now within the A bomb site. But still, XSS are sizing up this A side, and Cadian just gives up a little bit of his health in the fire just so he can irk his way around the corner, nabs the pick. As Gade tries to do the same, he takes a lot of damage but does dish it back the other way. Engine survives the duel and seems to have a clear lane straight into A. Cadian the high ground, popping Calyx. Valde hits them from behind, and it's the cleanup. Only Paz left inside of the smokes, a confusing situation that North comes out on top of.
Damn, they did a great job of constantly being threatening throughout that, having the setup at Arch with Cadian and Valda to throw the Molotov in the smoke, to peek into the fire at the last second as the smoke plumes, and then Valda just push behind them. It's like Space Soldiers is like, all right, just let me go lane. All right, let me go lane the whole time. They're like, we got 4 guys here, don't peek us, please. We'll shoot you, just let us go lane. We'll play the afterplan situation. They're like, no, we're gonna take every advantage that we possibly can find, and even at the cost of some of our HP, but it ends up being the correct decision. They really looked like they made that as annoying as they possibly could. Decent nade into alt. Calyx jumps up at a starting out disadvantaged. And North to push them back onto an eco.
Can only go for 300 bucks on Paz. The old P250. Where's he at? Oh, he's the bomb. No, he's not the bomb carrier. He's here inside of Boiler, taking damage, getting tagged, being spotted already. There goes Major at the bottom of mid. He was the only anchor for XSS. Everybody else here inside of the apartments. Engine's about to eat a nade. What?
It didn't bounce off the wall.
Aha.
Yeah, it looked like it was going to, but
yeah,
just sailed right by.
Well, the rest of the puzzle falls into place for North. All of those entry attempts from the T's on mid are denied. Engine last man up. Valda sniffs him out, and that's a 2-point lead established here by the Danes.
2-point lead, tons of money left over, clean anti-eco. X-Space Soldiers have enough money to buy. They don't have enough for an op, unfortunately, unless they want to go nude on one. And it seems like they appreciate their armor. Major also smart enough to get a utility set as well. Let's see how they treat. I wonder, like, if you can figure out how they would treat Banana based on how they've treated it on CT side. You know, like what do they see as the major threats? Like I feel like you most likely treat your defense as a reflection of your offense to some degree, depending on whether or not it's tailored to the current team that you're playing. But here they are running directly through with smoke. Valda trying to hold the spray down with the Gleal. It's a lot of bullets, but it's not a lot of kills. Kirby, however, called out by Connor a few rounds ago for only having 3 kills, is going absolutely ham. How do you explain that?
Almost gets 3 more in this round alone, Launders. Calyx is now finding himself left alone. He did come up from mid. Turns his back to the arch and to the apartments, and that's where he'll fall. Gade comes in, perfect timing, 3-round lead, and remember that was the buy from the T side.
Yeah.
They find themselves back in economic dumps.
Yes, it's a vicious cycle for sure. You lose a round, that is pretty. Oh, what is this? We got 3 deagles. We have 4 maybe. Yeah, let's go ahead. 4 deagles. This is the deco.
Yeah, this round builds confidence.
Treat yourself.
What's the point of money if you're not going to spend it?
That's true. You don't want to die with $1 billion. Wow. But you can die with the pride of having that kill. Feel very fulfilled.
It's a start.
A lot of fire on Banana, but all the T's are behind it. They've actually made their way up mid.
It's Banana Flambe. Valde will take engine first. He was the one that got unfortunately left behind. The rest of the team rotates away. He's stuck behind the fire.
Hey, where'd you guys go?
Hey, guys, wait.
Hey, trade that. Hey, what?
The rest of them looking to encompass the A bomb site entirely through the apartments yet again. So very similar to the previous round. And once more, we've got CTs in position to stop them at the door. Done. Cadian drops Paz. Another boiler pressure from Major does open up a little bit of space towards Arch. Major grabs an M4, tries to depart, and will do so successfully. If he gets the kill versus AZ, which did seem close. AZ checking out the flowers or something.
That was strange.
Taking in the scenic route. Almost gave Major more than what he could hope for, but this is what X-Space Soldiers had hoped for. Getting back into the gun round swiftly, which they've done. AKs and even an AWP.
Even an AWP. Yeah, the best buy we've seen so far. And one of their last chances to dig deep enough to pull them back into this game, just so they can play a 3rd map, just so they can continue on in the minor, because again, this is elimination. 3 rounds away from being eliminated from the minor and having to try again next time. That's a tough pill to swallow, but this is a great way to try to come back into it. 3 kills immediately. Cadian answers back with 1, but it's officially a 2v5, and Yam has vision over Gade, who actually ducks right under the cusp of the smoke and the scope. I mean, if Gade goes through this, he's not even going to get spotted. He doesn't even know where that's coming from. What's happening here? Oh my God, Yam from the top ropes.
Falls down, gives him the
Oh
RKO.
no!
Cadian doesn't seem to know that there's another player just behind him. He's going to start exiting away from Arch and run straight into Calyx. Yam almost falls victim to Gade. I mean, the timing there was perfect. Walks out, catches the bomb carrier first and foremost. Yam goes for the Goomba Stomp, flies down off the top rope. And just like that, we've got XSS with a 10th round.
Very strange round.
Yam keeping up the success here. I mean, he's now top frag 2 of the 3 maps we've seen from this team at the entire minor.
That's so nuts. It's so uncomfortable to play with a new team.
Coming in from Australia, starting to speak. When's the last time he probably spoke Turkish on a Counter-Strike team? I'm banking to say never. Exactly. And even if you do speak Turkish fluently, there's got to be some transition period where you go from real-life language to Counter-Strike talk.
Oh, wow, okay.
But let's talk Counter-Strike, Gade says. Rails back both of the players in the apartments push, and this could be a rude awakening versus the T's because a reset looms above.
Oof. Smoke is not poofy. That was a good smoke. Poofy smokes are worse than no smokes.
What are poofy smokes?
When they come too far out of a choke point, so you can actually, like, someone can creep out of a side.
Yeah. T's can use it against you.
Say no to poofy smokes. Whoa.
Hardcore mode.
HUD disappeared. I thought we were just going to, like, fade back out of the game or something. 2 on 5. Oh.
We'll piece it together, folks. Don't you fret. Cadian off the coffin. Reveals the Opper and his position. We get that rotate from Kierby as well. Closer and closer he'll get to the B-bomb site. And speaking of getting close, Engine standing on it, but Valde comes out from the corner, and Cadian seals the deal.
Thought this was going to be a lot closer of a game, but it's been a very stalwart CT side from North. Their execute-heavy CT side seemed to be somewhat problematic in spots, but their CT side's basically flawless. Their open and kill rate is extremely high. Their crossfires are good. They're all hitting their shots, and they're not getting ecoed. So there's not many more things that you can do better if you're going to play CT side Inferno. That's for damn sure. We could see where X-Space Soldier's weakness is. Their T side.
At one point, we had X-Space Soldiers winning this game 8-4. But now, North have won 10 of the last 12 rounds. So, a real turnaround in terms of results, unfortunately, for the Turkish team. I wonder if some of the struggles we're seeing from their usual top fraggers actually comes from this new implementation of a heavy op setup. You know, they really wanted to emphasize that they put Yam in a position to succeed, which he's been doing, but at what cost? You know, what is the sacrifice from the other members for him to do his job?
It's an interesting question, and that's why interviews are great. And it's really on the players to make sure that we get the kind of that insight, transparency, and clarity, so we know. Because there's probably a really interesting answer that other teams and fans and analysts and journalists and everybody else can learn from. Banana take.
Yeah. Retake nades go in. Calyx goes down. AZ ready for the wrap out, and the Molotov should section off the rest. Or Engine just plows right through it. Sure, he'll get the kill, but it's going to cost him HP, and he's blinded as the rotate just barrels on over. North still with 2 defenders here, despite another 2 being down already. Gate smoked off, and Valde now is in a prime spot if they rotate backwards. This is going to allow North to just confidently lock down the B site between these 2 remaining members. Major, whoa, almost gets away with the kill, but Kierby, while giving him a bit of an opportunity, eventually lands his shot.
Kirby's been going ham.
Yep. Yep, that's true.
Yeah, well, he had like a couple of solid rounds, but at this point, his whole team is just lighting up. It's actually kind of hard for him to even find kills.
Yeah, you can't improve your stats if your teammates steal all the kills.
It's a zero-sum game.
Because we've got now, at this point, AZ, Gade, and Cadian all over 20 frags apiece, and Valde sitting on 19.
19.
So that's why Kierby hasn't been able to get impact launders. There's just nobody alive by the time he arrives.
That rhymed.
Thank you.
It's more of an observation rather than a compliment.
Well, it's subjective, and my interpretation is clear.
Understood.
5 map, match, and minor lifetime points. This is not a good look for X-Space Soldiers, but I've seen them with their backs against the wall before. This is a roster of players who have faced many challenges in and out of the server in terms of Counter-Strike. They've succeeded in the past. There's no reason they can't succeed now. Nobody said it will be easy, however. Perfect flashbang blinds a bunch of bodies. Still, they all come up empty-handed. Paz is not going down without one final fight. So the bomb plant off of Yam in a 4 versus 3 advantage.
Double MAC-10 entry to keep things crazy. No. Could have been a great nade, or was a great nade, but could have been a strong peek, and Major might get roasted here, but since they know where he is, I mean, they can just bully him out of position. The best thing that he did, they're going to get a 1G in chat, boys and girls.
That's a bit awkward. Not only killing himself, but slowing down the retake to the point where it's just not going to happen. This is an 11th round for X-Space Soldiers. The only remaining question is how many players eject successfully, because they're running at Cadian now. Casper Moeller. Gonna dance around the arches, and eventually does fall. The gate's here to protect that op. even retrieve it if he can, but no. Gets skirted off by Paz, the only sole survivor of round 26 for X-Space Soldiers.
Pretty decent entries. That's what that comes down to. And again, that's the appeal of wanting to rush B. And as we can see, it can work at the highest level. Given the right circumstances, the right running flashes, and the right spawns. The stars did align for Space Soldiers in that situation. Nate goes down mid. Nate smoke guises his approach, and Valda is going to have to decide between a couple of targets. Spots one, knows alt threat is there, but he's got a teammate to help him.
Oh, he even doubles back into what seemed like a very prepared XSS. Gade was there to try and lend a helping hand, but instead it's only his two hands that remain today. He'll walk through the apps. Calyx ready for him. There you go. Patience from the T side is what gets them back into the single man advantage. And they're just going to group up to choose which bomb site they'd like to hit.
Who wins this round?
Space Soldiers.
Space Soldiers win this round. They've got a lot of, there's a lot of reasons why they would win this round. They've got 2 smokes and Molotov. So both choke point segregators. Then they have flashes to help them get in the sites, clear certain angles, push people off of annoying positions. Top of oranges, top of quad. They've also got the man advantage. They've got 40 seconds left. It's just AZ here. He's in a rotator position.
Peeks out wide, finds Yam. Calyx is going to be up close, health advantage for him, and so it falls to Kierby. Nowhere to be found at the moment. He is just trucking along as fast as he can to Banana. Major peaks and dies.
Ooh.
Calyx has 3 kills on the round. Now, in the round prior, it was Paz who made the difference on those entries, and Kierby's looking to make up for his lackluster kill count with what could be some of the most important kills of the game. The map and match-winning frags could be his, but he's opted to take his time here. Now, he does have that kit.
No.
And Calyx is going to be so exposed to this Coffin's Peak, but it has to be fast. He needs to swing, kill, defuse, and Calyx gives up his back. He's trudging out towards CT spawn, and the cover works.
Oh my god.
No way!
It was so late. It was so late that Calyx was just trying to save.
Right.
It was just... He would have gotten caught off guard there 2 seconds earlier, but there was no way Kirby could have done that faster. But it actually would have been a great play. Because even if he didn't think that he was oranges, he might have come around just to flank him at Coffins and gotten the best possible fight. Unluku Maluku.
What?
Unluku Maluku.
Oh, okay. A little Lobanitsa references.
Doesn't that look like the Snapchat logo?
What?
The fountain on B.
A little bit.
It's like the ghost.
Who uses Snapchat?
I mean, I just know the logo.
What are you up to?
I use Snapchat sometimes. Not really a lot, though.
No, you don't.
Whatever, man. I'm cool.
It's up for debate. Unarguably so. What a patient setup we have here on both sides of Banana. There's a lot of bodies heading over towards this B site. You wouldn't think this is the round North walk away with their win on. But there's a chance, because they've got the body count in position. It's the setup ready for this. The blinded terrorists charge straight through. And while they do take down 2, they've lost a couple members themselves. Cadian on the edge of the smoke. Oh, he's just got the USP. And that's never going to happen.
Who wins this round?
Was dangerous, but you know it's XSS.
Okay, XSS are going to win this round. And suddenly we're making this a lot closer than I thought. I thought it was just going to be ending.
No, like I said, you know, these
10
guys...
out of the last 12 rounds is now 10 out of the last 14 rounds.
Whoa.
It's not so good anymore. It's not as good anymore.
They have the resiliency here. You know, these guys never give up. Oh, he's hiding like a bush Wookiee. That's substantial damage.
He hurt him bad. Do you have to say resiliency? Like, do you say they have the resilience?
Yeah. They have the resilience.
Yeah.
Or they have resiliency.
Okay.
Or do they have resilience too? I never know with words because I screw up all the time, Launders. So now you're making me second guess myself. I'm sweating. I'm getting nervous. There's always people in my mentions telling me,
Someone from chat can probably just
it's not infectious, idiot.
let you know. Infectious.
I say it's
Just a
in my
very-
mentions, but it's actually always you that just makes fun of me.
Just a very seductive way of saying infectious. Infectious.
The verbal abuse I have to endure to make this duo work.
This isn't a critical moment. This is a very important game. And this is actually becoming a reality that Space Soldiers could win or come back into overtime.
Right?
They're 2 rounds away. They won the last couple.
They just have that non-existent margin of error.
Yeah.
One slip up and it's done. I mean, even in the previous round, when you see these Ts fully flashed, just flying forward on the W key into the CTs up close, that was scary enough. Now, we've got North just charging into the apartments. They were so silent, and then they make this huge ruckus, only to fall back into the A site, which is enough to deter the Ts. They've turned tail and tucked it back through the tunnels.
Need one more.
No.
The Molotov. Late Molotov. 25 seconds left.
Oh, this is going to be down to the wire.
Shut down at the choke point. Majors here as a lurk. The smoke even. They haven't bait out any of these utility.
Kirby goes in. Valda and AZ. It's all starting to fall apart. This could be it. 10 seconds. They need to charge forward, and they just don't have the numbers. It's a 1 versus 5 for Engine. And this is just unthinkable. It seems as though North have done it. They pull the lever on the guillotine, and XSS go home. Eliminated, which now sets us up for our follow-up match. North will get an attempt at revenge versus Wendigo in a best-of-3 decider for the European Minor. But oh, it sucks to see the ex-Space Soldiers go home like this. They bring in Yam. He actually gives us a great showing. Some of the players succeeding around him as well. You know, a new structure, new strategy, new tactics. But in the end, it's just not enough. So a quick look at the EU Minor Group B bracket. Fixate on the lower side of the bracket because those are the 2 games we're bringing you today. Obviously the 2-0 that just unfolded and our upcoming best-of-3.
That should be exciting. I mean, you want to say that North were favored in the game, so they won the game they were favored in. Space Soldiers gave it a good go of it, and in terms of the veto, maybe didn't want to play Inferno, but still made it quite close and competitive and could have potentially won. And now North will go on to play Wendigo, who are a team a lot of us have been waiting to see if they'll actually make it to the major.
Right, you know, we saw that 16-6 whooping dished out yesterday, Wendigo over top of North in their opening group game. After that, of course, Wendigo falls short because of Ents, some would favor to move forward. And now it's really the best-of-3 situation that I'm looking forward to see how they do succeed or not. You know, Poison. I want to watch this kid. There's been a lot of talk around him as of late, but we're going to go ahead and take a break and be back with that action shortly, folks. We'll see you guys soon.